At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe we have the best tag team in morning radio. Dominique DePrima and Tavis Smiley. As the first black woman in Los Angeles to anchor a morning drive talk radio show, Dominique covers local politics like a blanket. Weekday mornings from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. At 9 a.m., Dominique passes the baton to Tavis Smiley, who talks to everybody about everything every day until 12 noon. KBLA's dynamic duo, Dominique and Tavis. It's no wonder the LA Civil Rights Department is honoring Dominique DePrima this year at its Tell Our Story honoring black journalist leaders and storytellers event, Thursday, February 8th. Or that the John M. Langston Bar Association of Los Angeles is honoring Tavis Smiley at its 47th Annual Installation and Scholarship Awards Gala with its Community Impact Award on February 10th. We couldn't be more proud of Dominique and Tavis, who make black history every day, not just in February. If you're missing Dominique and Tavis weekday mornings on KBLA Talk 1580, you're missing out. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black.
Holla, yeah.
I hope they get my good side. You know I gotta look good when I walk out the house. You know I know the camera's following. I know they taking pictures, right, drama? Hey, hey man, you watch it, I live it. You dig that? Y'all sit back, relax, get some popcorn, man. I'ma make it a good show. You dig that? It's gonna make a hell of a movie, huh?
My life, your entertainment. You watch it while I live it. I walk, they follow. I talk, they holler. Just here for your amusement. My life, your entertainment. You watch it while I'm living. You waiting for me to lose it. I guess I'm just here for your amusement.
Hey, the price of fame I think I paid. Want my change, I done gave everything in my possession for my seconds on the stage. For my name up in life, in multi-million record sales, I done gave up my life. Can't get a moment to myself.
Welcome in. Happy Wednesday. You are locked in to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. This, of course, is the show where we hit all the trending topics across entertainment, sports, lifestyle, and culture. I'm your host, Jill Munroe. And as always, we have an amazing show for you tonight. The lineup is packed. We're ready to get it in. So I hope that you are relaxed. You know, you have a beverage, a snack, and you are ready to get into these trending topics and headlines. Let me let you know what is on the rundown for tonight's show. So, you know, our motto here is Andy is always on theme. And I say that because that song is indicative of a topic that we're going to touch on in the first hour. We're going to be talking about Keke Palmer. You know, we've been talking about her a lot in various fashions, really over the last 6 months to a year. And in a recent interview, Keke revealed that she believes her time in entertainment, probably specifically in front of the camera, is almost up. And so we're going to get into that and a little bit of the reasons why it could be happening. And, you know, fame, like the song says, their life, our entertainment. So we're going to get into that topic. We're also going to talk about Dougie Fresh, you know, the 80s rapper. He recently came out and said that he wants all the hip-hop beef to cease with artists. So we're going to get into his statements and talk about why he feels that this needs to move in another direction as far as hip-hop is concerned. And in the third hour, we're going to get into, you know, we've been talking a lot about artificial intelligence, Chat GPT, all the different things. Well, a recent report revealed that there are a lot of AI-generated channels on YouTube, and their sole purpose is to target Black celebrities and Black entertainment content and manipulate them. So we're going to get into how these channels were discovered, why they believe this is happening, and what YouTube is doing to combat the misinformation that is being put out there. And then talk a little bit about how you remain responsible when AI is coming for you and, you know, things that we used to be able to rely on, the eye test, the ear test, We can't trust things the same way anymore. So we're going to get into that. But before we get into all of that, this is a great time for me to share with you that if you are not already following us on social media, hit us up, KBLA 1580. Of course, I am at Stiletto Jill everywhere. Hit the follow button. Also, we have an active YouTube chat. If you want to add a visual to this audio experience, join us there. Like, share, subscribe, hit the thumbs up, all of that. We appreciate all of that. And of course, if at any point during the conversation you want to call in and give your thoughts or opinions, we love that. 800-920-1580. Call us up, say hi, share your opinion with us here. Now, we have a couple of conversation starters. Of course, these are topics that we can't get into the full story, but I need you to be aware because that's what we do here on RSVP with Jill Munroe. So first up, Taraji P. Henson has a new project. I'm so excited that we will be seeing new things from her and that we'll have something positive to talk about with Taraji. Not that we haven't had positive moments, but that we can shift to where we like the focus to be on her work. So she is joining a new true crime limited series for Peacock. And the irony in this is the new project is going to pair her with Terrence Howard. You know, they worked together on Empire. They also worked together in Hustle and Flow. And Craig Brewer, who was the director and writer of Hustle and Flow, is who is putting together this true crime limited series. So I think that that is a good mix. We've seen that mix work together before in various formations. So I'm excited to check it out. I thought Terrence retired. I don't know. I know he has some issues with his former agency, I believe, but you know, what's going on with that? I guess when the project's good, maybe not. Or maybe he's just being more selective and not working, you know, when you're filming a TV drama and it's that many episodes on network TV, you literally work about 9 months out of the year. And for a show like Empire, which I believe filmed in Chicago, you're away from home. So maybe that's some of it. We'll have to see. Also, now, we know I'm a Lakers fan, right? But shout out to the LA Clippers for this move. The Clippers are trying to get a jersey from every high school basketball team in California, not just Southern California, California, to display in the arena for, you know, their new team, the Intuit Dome, that is opening later this year. So I think that that is a dope way to get the community tapped in, because who doesn't want to see your jersey in the wall of a real, you know, professional sports arena? It's a new arena, get the buzz going. And also, you know, it's good for the high school students, a little encouragement, something to see. So shout out to the Clippers for that. And I'm nervous. Lakers fans, are you nervous? Because the Clippers, we'll just see. We're almost at All-Star break. We'll talk about that at another time. Listen, when we come forward, we're going to get into more trending topics and headlines. You are locked in to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
Infusing a sense of fun and entertainment in every episode. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward.
Climate is king.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that caring for the community means caring about the climate. You might have heard that we announced a pretty bold 12-month, $2 million campaign to do 4 things. Increase climate literacy, turn up the volume on communities of color in the climate conversation, connect everyday people with the resources they need to survive and thrive, and highlight frontline climate justice crusaders of color throughout this year. KBLA Talk 1580 will be bringing you insightful interviews on all of our shows to help raise your climate IQ. Each quarter this year, we will also be hosting free climate events in various communities throughout the city with food, fun, and forward-thinking conversations. Thanks to partners like LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, the Sierra Club, the California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, AQMD, MWD, and more. You'll also be hearing more about a couple of national town halls broadcasting live from Los Angeles, to which you will be invited. And we'll be rolling out a robust social media campaign on all our platforms, as well as an outdoor media campaign, all designed to educate, enlighten, and empower you in our fight for climate justice.
We want cleaner air.
Caring about the community means caring about the climate. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that we really can change the world. if we care enough. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Stay Housed LA has the resources you need to know your rights and the legal support to back them up. The COVID-19 pandemic has cost people their jobs and livelihoods. This has left an estimated 1/3 of households not being able to make rent and facing losing their homes. This is a fear no one in our community should have to face. You have rights, though, and Stay Housed LA is here to help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between the County of Los Angeles, the City of Los Angeles, and local community and legal service providers. Together, they provide tenants with the information and support needed to exercise their rights so they can remain safely in their homes. Find out more about your rights by participating in a virtual tenant workshop. Get the legal assistance you need. Find additional resources in Los Angeles County and the City of Los Angeles. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA County for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. That's stayhousedla.org. Or call their hotline at 213-694-0040. We've got your black with a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Keeping you informed, entertained, and always ahead of the curve. This is RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You are locked in to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. So, I had to share this topic with you guys because it's pretty hilarious. And I'm going to add the video to my social media because I think me sharing it with you is not going to do the clip justice. So, you know who Cuba Gooding Jr. is? Obviously, Boys in the Hood, Radio, Jerry Maguire, a bunch of other flicks, right? And we know that Cuba Gooding Jr. is also known for his off-screen activities that Cuba gets it in. Cuba parties, Cuba dances. He will break out in his, old school breaker days and bust a move. He turns up, right? Well, recently, a woman was celebrating her birthday out at dinner, and out of nowhere, Cuba jumps in while her friends are singing happy birthday to her and serenades her in an operatic sounding voice, and then proceeds to blow out the candles with her, which I think is a no-no post-COVID. Like, don't blow out my candles, please. But while he was filming it, then he walked away and was like, yeah, y'all enjoy that? And the girl was just like, no, Radio. It was really funny, but you have to wonder, like, Cuba's still out here being joyful and being himself, but, he was caught up in that wave of lawsuits that happened in New York a few months back, which, the look back law, basically, for sexual assault allegations. So one would think maybe he would tamper down his outward expressions or things like that, because something similar is kind of what brought him to this place to begin with. Not that I'm saying you shouldn't be out and enjoy and have a good time, but it's a different time now. You gotta protect your neck and move smarter. So, but shout out to him for, trying to make the young ladies' night. Shout out to everybody in the YouTube chat, DJ Black 909, Crystal Waite, Keeping It Honest with Anthony Parker, Alexander, and Carrie Webb. Thanks for clocking in. We appreciate you. Okay, so I also have some more Vegas news. Listen, I told you guys months ago that Las Vegas is going to be the live entertainment capital of the United States. It's pretty simple, right? You are going to go there for a live event. You're going to have to if you enjoy live concerts, live sports, whatever, right? So obviously we're getting ready for the Super Bowl in a little over a week and a half from now. But a new residency has just been announced. It's coming in April. Tickets go on sale Friday, February 2nd. Cedric the Entertainer and Tony Braxton are doing an original show together. It's going to feature both of them. So it's going to be music and comedy. It's called the Love and Laughter Vegas Residency. It's going to be at the Cosmopolitan Hotel. And tickets go on sale, like I said, Friday. And the residency starts April 27th. And I think that that is an interesting combination because Cedric is known for music, especially, um, it's kind of, I mean, I guess it's oldies at this point, right? And Tony Braxton is a classic music. I think it's a good combination. Could be a good night. You get some dinner, you get some laughs, you get some good music, and you go home happy. Andy?
I think this is going to be very successful, considering, the statements from a young Cat Williams. So I just expect it to be great. I think people, people are going to come. People are going to pay to at least hear what Cedric the Entertainer may have to say.
I think 100%. What I can say is I actually talked with Cedric and Tachina today because they are hosting the Gospel Super Bowl event taking place. It's airing on CBS next Saturday night. I talked to them about that. I talked to him about this new residency. I talked to him about the longevity and winning. So you guys will hear that here on RSVP tomorrow night, along with DMC, an interview from DMC of Run DMC. So that'll be tomorrow night. But back to tonight, just make sure you're locked in and looking forward to that. So we have that coming up. So again, more residencies. Remember, we got T-Pain, we got Jodeci, we got New Edition, we got Wu-Tang next weekend. Usher's heading out on tour. Vegas is the place, man. Super Bowl next week. We're going to have an all-star there in a couple years. The A's are building their stadium on the Strip. Listen and get in now. Also, speaking of Usher, we know that he has an interview that is dropping with Shannon Sharp. I believe it dropped today on Club Shay Shay. So that is dropping. Of course, we'll have some tidbits for that. But the track listing for Usher's new album, Coming Home, which goes on sale next week, has dropped. So let me give you a little list of what's going on with that. Coming Home is Usher featuring Burna Boy. There's Good Good, which we already heard, which I love, which features Usher, Summer Walker, and 21 Savage. There's A-Town Girl, which is Usher and Lotto. Cold Blooded, which is Usher and The Dream. The Dream got hits. Her is also on the album for a song called Risk It All. Usher and Feels, a song called Ruin. There's a song called Stone Cold Freak. I Am the Party. I Love You, Please You, Luckiest Man. On and on and on. And so I got to tell you, I am looking forward to this new Usher album. He's dropped some good songs over the past years. I am glad that he has moved out of his EDM phase. I much prefer roller skating too, but there was a couple of bops in that era, and it's not that I don't appreciate that music, because I do. He stayed there a little too long for my liking. But we're going to get new music from him. I love that it is in this phase of his career and that the tour is going to head out, and I'm going to be at that tour. I did not see Vegas, but I will be at the tour. So shout out to Usher, man. Keep it moving. Okay, so listen, speaking of Usher, because we know last summer it was all the wave with the ladies attending Usher's concert and being serenaded by him. And I guess we call the Keke Palmer event, what do they call it when there are, I can't think of the word, what I'm looking for. The word I'm thinking about is like patient zero or whatever, but the inciting incident, that's what I'm trying to say. So Keke Palmer and Usher, that was the inciting incident that kicked off the summer full of, I'm a mother and the video and all of these things. Well, in a recent interview with Teen Vogue, Keke Palmer, she has been in the entertainment industry since she was about 10, 11, 12, a very long time. It's about 20 years. And she's talked to Teen Vogue about retirement, and she said that it's closer than some might imagine. At some point it's likely, but she said it's sooner than later. She said, I don't know. I think the timer has started. I think it's because I just haven't felt it yet. But the timer, I know that it's around the corner. I don't know when exactly, but it's close. The main thing, I want those legacies that I've created to be a call to use your power for good, to use what you have to create spaces and systems for other people to thrive. I just don't believe in holding everything. I don't believe in gatekeeping. I'm not a coward. What would that do? I think it's based in fear if I'm speaking on it from a compassionate place. I think people that gatekeep are afraid, so I'm not scared. I think that Keke has probably just reached a point where, maybe it's not retirement, but maybe just a break is needed to work that consistently. We've seen her on Nickelodeon. We've seen her put out music. We've seen her go from TV to film to hosting talk shows. She just recently received an Emmy Award for Outstanding Game Show Host. So Keke works, and she's a new mother that also went through some very public situations regarding private relationships. So I think that, there comes a point sometimes when you just need to step away and recalibrate and sort of get back into your element, especially considering how young she was when she got into the industry. I think that it might be healthy. Her child is maybe close to a year, maybe just beyond a year old. So there's also those emotions of that, dealing with post pregnancy, a very public breakup that included a lot of emotional back and forth. So, I think it's understandable. And two, if you look at the career path of a lot of child actors and actresses, at some point they've all, not all, but a lot of them have taken a step back, maybe to take a stronger role behind the scenes. Because maybe you take a step back from in front of the camera doesn't mean that you go away completely. But as I mentioned, when I was just talking about, Terrence Howard retiring from the industry, kind of doing a network show that has 15, 20 episodes a season, and if it's an hour-long drama, that can be about 9 months of filming. That's a lot. It's a lot of content, a lot of time. So I can certainly understand maybe the need for a break or a refresher. Certainly, Keke has earned it. She has done and contributed a great deal. So Keke also said in the interview, a part of learning in this place is that I think it is to love and to know how to be first unconditionally loving to yourself, so that you know how to love others and be of service to others in a way that doesn't disadvantage them, but instead empowers them. That's what I hope that the legacy is for me and for anyone that wants to follow me. And I hope that's what they see too. She also talked about having anxiety when she was younger being in the industry. And this is something that she has mentioned before. She's had trouble making friends within the industry because she always felt that it was sort of a silent competition and things of that nature. She said, when I was younger, I used to have so much anxiety. I love to perform, but is that something that can last forever? I think I always would wonder, is it something that times out? Obviously, you have people that have been acting their entire careers, but I just never knew how I could scale myself. And I mean, people think, and it is, we're not going to overcomplicate it, but we're also not going to oversimplify it, in that acting and learning lines and the physicality of it and becoming an entire person isn't easy, and we know everybody can't do it. So I think it takes its toll, and sometimes, you just have to relax. So, one of the last things that she discussed was, if you were a lawyer, for example, and you want to get out and be a partner, she said she didn't understand what the vision was for her in Hollywood ultimately, like where she would go. She said some people become directors, or they become producers, or they become the head of Paramount. And she didn't really see that for herself initially. But, you know, she's learning new things and changing things. So I hope that whatever decision Keke makes, she's a force. And I hope that she is, finding some peace, finding somewhere where she can, relax and enjoy her son, and then check back in with us after a little bit of space and time, because Everybody deserves that. Okay, so once again, continuing a little bit on this Vegas theme, right? We know that Lovers and Friends was announced. It is May 4th in Las Vegas. And we know initially Mary J. Blige came out and said, listen, I know my name is on there. I appreciate you, but I'm not going to be there. I'm going to be preparing for my Soul of a Woman. I might be messing that up. Her conference that takes place the following weekend in Atlanta. But now she's announced soon after that she will be there. So I guess, like I said before, the money was right. The Dream said he's not going to be there. Mace also came out and said that don't use my name for publicity. I'm not going to be there. Don't know if something has switched up with that. And most recently, Juvenile is the latest celebrity to accuse Lovers and Friends of basically, falsely putting his name out. And what he said is, book me or take my name off of your flyer, right? So here's the thing that I'm wondering with all of this. And I said this before when it was first announced about Mary. Is this a part of the artist negotiation tactics? Because I understand sometimes, again, like I said, maybe we're still trying to get the money together, negotiating the time, how many flights, how many rooms. There's all sorts of things that can come into play when you're trying to negotiate as a promoter and put together a show of this magnitude. But I wonder, do you think this is about the this is probably the third or fourth version of Lovers and Friends, right? And each and every time we go through this, oh, take me off the flyer. And at least 3/4 of the time, the act ends up performing. So I want to know, is this a way to get the word out? And which side is sort of pushing this agenda? Do the artists really not know? Are there teams negotiating without them and they're completely in the dark? So this is the first time that they're hearing anything about this? Or are we really just having that much of a miscommunication as far as who's performing and what's being put out there? I don't understand. Usher promoted it. His money was on time. So I think it's just a little bit of chess playing on the part of maybe the promoters and the artists. Because, like I said, it happens every year, and most of the time, those acts end up on that stage in some form or fashion. So, we'll have to see what happens with this. Sounds like a great show. They should do, much like Coachella, a live stream. Maybe pay for it, but they should do a live stream. I'm sure they could make a lot of money off of that. I bet you they could. They should get into that. I would be into that because I'm not standing out there in the heat with not being able to see. Advertisers, sponsors, I'm sure that they have a lot of that. But the live stream, to your point, adding more and more money in. Listen, when we come forward, we're going to have more trending topics and headlines. You are locked in to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
Me'll do it. Not just the actor by profession, pimp, I live movies. That's why they whisper when they see me, point and stare at me. Cause they just wanna live through me vicariously. Fashion week in Paris with party like a rock star. Get blown by a top model till she catch lockjaw. Got the dough, you get a year stashed in my sock drawer.
RSVP with Jill Munroe is your go-to show for staying in the know. More engaging conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. A civil rights figure is now immortalized in Richmond, Virginia. The city unveiled a statue of Jane Cooper Johnson. In 1961, as a 12-year-old girl known as Daisy Jane Cooper, she was the first black student to attend West Hampton Junior High School. The 12-foot-high statue is called Strides. Johnson remembers being very lonely at the time, and she tells 12 on Your Side she hopes this creates a dialogue that leads to empathy and compassion. The operators of a Dayton, Ohio Sleep Number mattress outlet are agreeing to a settlement with a local woman over her treatment at their store in December 2023. The Dayton unit of the NAACP assisted 85-year-old Helen Dewberry as she dealt with corporate leaders. Employees called police on Dewberry in December after she questioned them about a purchase agreement and reportedly refused to leave. The company has apologized to the woman, and they have agreed to put employees through bias-free customer service training. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice: continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
Got me a damn girl on my team.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe we have the best tag team in morning radio. Dominique DePrima and Tavis Smiley. As the first black woman in Los Angeles to anchor a morning drive talk radio show, Dominique covers local politics like a blanket. Weekday mornings from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. At 9 a.m., Dominique passes the baton to Tavis Smiley, who talks to everybody about everything every day until 12 noon. KBLA's dynamic duo, Dominique and Tavis. It's no wonder the LA Civil Rights Department is honoring Dominique DePrima this year at its Tell Our Story honoring black journalist leaders and storytellers event, Thursday, February 8th. Or that the John M. Langston Bar Association of Los Angeles is honoring Tavis Smiley at its 47th Annual Installation and Scholarship Awards Gala with its Community Impact Award on February 10th. We couldn't be more proud of Dominique and Tavis, who make black history every day, not just in February. If you're missing Dominique and Tavis weekday mornings on KBLA Talk 1580, you're missing out. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black.
Holla, yeah.
When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life with just one wrong pill. Addiction is a disease that can affect anyone at any age. But there is a choice to get help for this disease. Find medically proven treatment options, including virtual, at choosemat.org.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580, where climate is king. Climate is king.
Jackson Hewitt has a plan to get your tax refund fast with a buck here, buck there. Here a buck, there a buck, everywhere a buck.
You don't have to wait weeks for your tax refund. Get money sooner with a no-fee refund advance loan at Jackson Hewitt.
On this loan, there's a money today guarantee. E-I-E-I-DO.
Don't settle for chicken feed. Get fast bucks at Jackson Hewitt today. No-fee refund advance loans by Republic Bank offered to eligible clients. Money today guarantee if approved for a loan on a prepaid card. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment through the arts. Tia Chucha Central Cultural is on a mission to transform community in the Northeast San Fernando Valley and beyond through ancestral knowledge, the arts, literacy, and creative engagement. The Northeast San Fernando Valley has a population of about 500,000, the size of the city of Oakland, yet it has no bookstores, art galleries, or full-fledged cultural spaces until Tia Chuchas opened its doors in 2001. Founded by renowned poet and activist Luis Rodriguez, Tia Chuchas Cultural Center provides a year-round free or low-cost arts and literacy bilingual intergenerational programming in mural painting, music, dance, writing, visual arts, healing art sessions, and healing talking circles. Activities also include Mexica, Aztec dance, indigenous cosmology, philosophy, and 2 weekly open mic nights, one in Spanish, the other in English. In addition, they host author readings, film screenings, and art exhibits. To express yourself, heal yourself, attend an event, or volunteer, please visit www.tiachucha.org. That's TIACHUCHA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Charles Barkley in a pickup game.
We'll take Barkley.
Ha! First pick. Sorry, kids.
Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision?
Okay, here's the plan. Pass me the ball every time.
This is banking reimagined. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
Curating the most compelling stories and delivering them straight to your ears. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm just wondering if you can't buy me. Money can't buy love. No, can't buy love, baby. Never buy your love. Could never buy your love. Nah, could never buy your love. But I need new friends. I wanted to buy a Benz. Trip around the world. Yo, an oyster full of pearls. Rocks and new clothes. Hot shoes, Kleenex for my nose. A Rolex full of gold. Man, anything can be sold.
Welcome in RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. Shout out to Ralph Tresman, Money Can't Buy Me Love soundtrack. I believe that was on A&M Records. That also had Janet Jackson, Luther Vandross, The Best Things in Life
What
Are
did you call
Free.
it?
Isn't it money? Wait, what is it? I said the wrong thing. Now you confused me. What did I say?
You said,
Well, what is it?
It's called. You said. I think you said Get Money.
No, Money Can't.
You said Money Can't Buy Me Love.
Yeah, that's the name of the song. What is the name of the movie though?
I thought it was called Mo Money.
That's the name of the movie.
With Damon Wayans.
Yeah, Mo Money.
Yeah.
But the soundtrack, that single is Money Can't Buy Me Love though, right? Right. And Janet Jackson and Luther, The Best Things in Life Are Free. Because there definitely was a money theme with the soundtrack.
Yes.
I like. So shout out to them. Listen, last night we were having a conversation, and that voice you hear, by the way, is, it's Wednesday. Our Keep It Real friend is in the building. Trent Jackson, Trent the artist.
Hi.
Hi. Happy
How are
Wednesday.
you?
Welcome
Happy
in.
Wednesday.
So I have 2 music questions for you.
Okay.
Which is important because we're getting ready for our guest that's coming up shortly.
Yes. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I can barely contain myself.
So the first question is, last night I made the proclamation that New Edition is the best R&B group of all time, hands down, because every member, every act that was birthed out of New Edition is a multi-platinum selling group. And outside of Destiny's Child,
I wasn't even gonna.
Huh?
Well, yeah, that's true.
So I wanted to know if there was anybody you wanted to throw in the ring to go up against them, or what your thoughts are on that topic. That's music question 1.
Of course, Jill, we are not going to excuse the musical contributions of Jermaine, Jackie, Tito, Randy, and Michael.
We talked about that, and let me tell you why.
And I know what you're going to say. Because of all the things that you previously listed with New Edition. They don't have any of that.
Right.
They don't even have a Grammy.
Right.
Okay.
Wait, they don't have a Grammy?
They do not have a Grammy collectively.
They have American Music Award collectively, but not a Grammy.
Not Grammy.
Wow, I did not realize that.
So I see what you're saying, but if it wasn't for the brothers, there would be no New Edition. But yeah, that's the only other group that I would throw in the hat, just because they're the originals of our lifetime.
Okay. And Destiny's Child, they get a second. They count.
Yeah, they're in there, but
New Edition is the blueprint. Well, I understand what you're saying about the Jacksons. They are the blueprint, but New Edition is the greatest R&B group of all time.
Yeah, I can totally agree with you on that. Actually, as a matter of fact, New Edition was the very, very first concert I ever went to.
Ow!
At the Forum, yeah.
Okay. That's where you told me you went to the Any Heartbreak
the
tour,
Any Heartbreak
right?
tour with I'll Be Sure, Bobby Brown, and New Edition.
I was
that
there
was my
too.
very first tour.
I went to that twice.
Yeah.
Shout out to that. Listen.
Good times.
Okay. Andy has a fact to add. I love that. Come through. Come through.
So, I had to Google it.
Okay.
And Brother Trent is right. They were only nominated for 1 Grammy Award back in 1989 for Best R&B Performance by a Duo or Group with vocals.
Jackson Street, huh?
If It Isn't Love.
Oh, New Edition only has 1 Grammy nomination too. He was talking about the Jacksons. I didn't realize New Edition only has one Grammy nomination too.
Oh yeah.
So both of them.
Yeah.
Wow.
You follow the blueprint, you kind of get the same thing.
That is really, really interesting. So, okay, if it isn't love, shout out to them. Listen, so my second question, and this will be good when, our guest gets in here. I'm going to ask her this too, but what is your thought on festivals? I was just talking about Lovers and Friends. It's coming up May 4th. The lineup is stellar. Everybody and their mama is going to be there, but I don't do festivals.
Yeah, I don't do festivals unless I'm VIP or something like that. Sitting
Right,
in the
in
front.
the cabana.
It has to be
or
roped off.
Right.
In a separate section.
Where they bring you beverages.
I'm not standing in
beverages.
line. I'm not doing any of that stuff. Even when I was younger, it's too much of a crowd for me. I've always been VIP in my mind though, so no festivals for me. I've done it like once or twice, and then it was just like, for sure, this is definitely a no.
For sure. Okay. So who would you consider going to a festival to see?
Nobody, because my favorite, this is the second time Janet has done a festival, and I'm not going to a festival for Janet Jackson. I'm not going to a festival for anybody.
Okay, shout out to that. Well, listen.
Unless, and let me say never say never, because Brandy already said to not do that in '98. So,
right.
And here we are. So yes, it would have to be like VIP status. Like I would have to be in a cabana or front row. Like I don't want to stand in lines, like bars, no restrooms, the whole nine. Something like that. Just like if I lived in New York, it has to be just like it is on TV. Building with the doorman, overlooking Central Park. You've got a helipad on top. A driver, the whole thing. And if it's not like that, I don't want it. So
okay,
yeah.
I feel that. Forensic accountant has something to add. He says, so we're just going to forget about the Temptations, Ruffick, Kendricks, Edwards. No, and you might have missed it last night. I talked a little bit about that, but again, part of my criteria for that is collectively as well as the individual versions of it. So whether, Dennis Edwards, I believe he went platinum. There's been about 10 different Temptations lineups.
Yeah.
But not all of those individual versions were able to be successful as far as sales and platinum and things of that nature. So that is why the Temptations aren't even in the mix for me, even though I understand they too set a standard that was followed by the likes of New Edition and the Jacksons, and I understand their contributions. I'm not taking away from it, but the greatest R&B group of all time is New Edition. That's it. So, listen, Diddy is still in the news, right?
Oh my God.
This is different. So there's a woman who has filed a lawsuit against him. She claimed that she is being stalked and harassed by him, right? But he has responded to those allegations. This woman has made the same allegation against several other celebrities, right? She filed the lawsuit last year, and she said that he's been cyber stalking her and that she attempted to do business with him and that he hacked her phone and tried to pursue a relationship with her. Well, Diddy has filed documents saying he doesn't know this woman. He's never met her. He has no idea who she is. And since she is a serial filer, I wonder what can be done about that. She's requested multiple restraining orders against him and other celebrities, all of whom she's accused of stalking her. And all of the requests have been dismissed, but she continues to file. Right. One of the accusations that she included, and we're going to talk a little bit about this point in the hour 3, she claimed that Diddy has military level equipment to tamper with her and tamper with any and every device that belonged to her. He's read all of her messages in her phone and all of these things like that. And this is the type of information that is being repeated out in the public, and people are saying, yep, that's what he's doing. And this woman is just seemingly have an active imagination. Listen, we're going to get Trent's reaction on the other side. Plus, we have a guest in the building. singer extraordinaire. She has an amazing story. We're going to talk with Cy Smith on the other side. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
Trending topics and the hottest happenings. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Jim Gaffigan here with some more Straight Talk. Now you can get a Walmart Plus membership, plus not pay for it, because it's included with Straight Talk wireless plans. You get free delivery with Walmart plus a Paramount Plus subscription included. Plus, you pay less for gas. That's a lot of pluses.
Only Straight Talk gives you unlimited 5G data and Walmart Plus included on select plans for free.
Straight Talk Wireless, available at Walmart.
Requires service on Gold or Platinum Unlimited. One offer per eligible account. Paramount Plus Essential Plan only. Separate registration required. Additional terms apply.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles is a nonprofit law firm that protects and advances the rights of the most underserved, leveling the playing field and ensuring that everyone can have access to the justice system. Every year, LAFLA provides free, high-quality legal services to more than 100,000 people living in poverty across greater Los Angeles. Their unique combination of neighborhood offices, self-help centers at courthouses, and domestic violence clinics puts Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles on the front lines in vulnerable communities and at the forefront of change. LAFLA's expert team of attorneys, paralegals, and support staff works to provide direct representation, offer counsel and advice, provide referrals, and educate the community about their legal rights through workshops and seminars. With locations all over LA, you can access their services or volunteer to help no matter where you live. And if you have an urgent issue, call 213-235-0060. That's 213-235-0060. To get legal help, make a donation, or volunteer, visit lafla.org. lafla.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible. Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
Now back to more captivating conversation on RSVP with Jill Munroe.
You were locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. And as I shared with you before we came forward, we have not only Trent Jackson, Trent the artist, in the building with us because it's Wednesday. And, you know, our Keep It Real friend is in the building to keep it real. But we also have singer, songwriter, performer extraordinaire Cy Smith in the building with us. Welcome to RSVP with Jill Munroe.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much for having me.
I'm really excited to have you on. I know you have a new album out. I've been seeing people talk about it on social media, post their favorite cuts. The cover is absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
I'm not supposed to use that word all the time, but I do. No, it's dreamy. I love the views and the hues in it. So it looks amazing. So welcome to the show. So I have to put you on the spot because we were having a conversation.
Okay.
So I am making the argument that New Edition is the best R&B group of all time, based on the fact that every individual in the group, so that's Johnny Gill, Bobby Brown, BBD, Ralph, had multi-platinum success outside of the core group, New Edition. And 40 years later, they are still performing as a unit.
Yes. Wow.
So that is my case. There's someone in the chat, forensic accountant. He said that I am letting a teenage crush, 'cause who didn't love New Edition as a kid, cloud my judgment. His argument is throwing up songs like Walk Away From My Love, My Whole World Ended, Keep On Truckin', Intimate Friends, Don't Look Any Further, which is a personal fave, Aphrodisiac, etc. All great songs. But again, the criteria being commercial success within the group and outside of the group. And the Temptations doesn't pass the snuff test.
Ooh.
Great group. I'm not taking anything away. I know that they set this tone for. We also have the Jacksons
You
in
know
contention.
that the Jacksons, I just brought up the Jacksons as my personal favorite, and they didn't make the cut.
They don't make the cut. Wow. But they are, and we know that they are the omega, the alpha, the, starting point.
Yeah.
But for the greatest group of all time, they don't make the cut.
Okay, I mean, let's see. If the criteria is yes, there are the individual players in the group had success, then are we talking about the greatest group of all time, or are we talking about the greatest launching pad for solo artists of all time?
No, we're talking so collectively as the group, and then as the extension of the group, because it's all fruit of the tree. They're all fruit of the New Edition tree. So Bobby Brown had 3 solo albums. 2 of the 3 were multi-platinum.
Yes.
Not what is it?
Johnny Gill.
No,
Ralph
not Johnny Gill.
Chess-
What is the name? I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the album. Don't Be Cruel.
Oh, yeah, of
The Don't Be
course.
Cruel album
Yeah.
set the stage and set
Absolutely.
up several records at the time. I
Yeah.
believe it's nominees. So
Absolutely.
things of that nature. And New Edition still intact. Came back together as a group, still performed, and went platinum with a project released after the solo success and came back.
Yeah.
None of those other acts have done that.
Yeah. I mean, yes, if that's the criteria, then New Edition is definitely the group to beat because they have done that time and time over. But it's really hard, because the blueprint was definitely the Temptations, right? Or, I don't know, one of the blueprints. And their contribution to what became R&B bands, it just can't be overlooked.
Absolutely
They
not.
definitely set the standard. But New Edition took that bar and jumped over it for sure.
I will say that the closest that I think, and again, these are all modern and can change, is realistically Destiny's Child.
Mm-hmm.
Because if LaToya went platinum, multi-platinum, they haven't come back together, but Michelle.
Kelly's doing very well.
Kelly killing it
Yeah.
over and over, and we know who Beyonce is. So,
Yes.
even in the extension, LaToya against it, we might see something collectively from them in the future. So,
Right.
That's
what's crazy is that I didn't even think about girl groups when you said R&B groups, and that's my fault for leaving gender out. Like, why did I go straight to boy groups and not even think about the girls?
I guess because we're used to comparing guys with guys, and
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
That's
But
interesting. But Destiny's Child definitely did their thing. I mean, what about groups like, do super groups count, like Lucy Pearl?
Lucy Pearl is an amazing group. Here's why I don't count them.
Okay.
They count,
Mhm.
but why I don't count them is because they were so they count on the individual level, but they were units separate of, and then came together.
Right.
So I'm kind of looking for who started.
And then there was
together.
a member swap too.
There was a member
There was
swap.
a member swap.
Much like there was a member swap in one of her previous versions of it, right?
Yeah, but
Right.
I mean, there were 2 member swaps actually, right?
No, it
No,
was
it's just one.
Just Dawn?
Just Dawn.
Just Dawn. Mhm.
Okay. So,
Shout out to Joy.
Shout out to Joy.
She just had a birthday.
Yes.
She is a super Aquarius, super queen. Yeah.
We like Joy.
We love Joy.
and Lucy Pearl is a vibe. So,
Heck yeah.
I mean, we can, it's our conversation, so we can shape it anyway. So, it's certainly up for contention, but, I just like to throw it out there.
I
see.
like it.
So, let's talk about you, Sai.
Hey, I could do that all day.
So I was listening to an interview that you did on Trent's podcast, and you guys met over 20 years ago.
That's right.
And you started off like at the Temple Bar in LA,
Yeah.
which was big in the scene as far
Yeah.
as music scene in the early 2000s and so
Mhm.
forth. What has your independent journey been like? Because
Yeah.
the dedication and the the faith and the
Yeah.
stick-to-itness one has to have to move to Los Angeles, dive into the music business, and stay independent and continue to make music. How do you get that? How do you develop that? And
You
what's that
know,
experience?
Wow. Even before Temple Bar, I started right here in Leimert Park at Lucy Florence Coffee House.
Oh, wow.
When no bands, I mean, no bars would book me, no clubs would book me in Los Angeles to play, I had to build my own venue, so to speak. So I went to Lucy Florence and said, hey, I'd love to do a show here. And Ron and Richard said, sure, do whatever you'd like. And I started a show called, it rhymes with witchcraft, but it starts with a B. I don't know.
Okay.
Um,
FCC, no, we are live on the radio, so we got you.
Witchcraft with a B. And that was a venue that I started for other women in the performing arts to come and play. And then I did a show, a 45-minute set at the end of the night, right? It got very popular. Lots of people came. We outgrew the coffee house and went across the way to the theater in that little complex. And then the Temple Bars started knocking at the door. And then, the El Rays and those places started knocking at the door. So, my whole journey started with, you got to build your own venue first, before you can even come to the table. I had to build my own table.
Right. And I mean, here's the thing about that. It is rougher that way, but there is a certain amount of satisfaction that comes from that because you understand every bit of sacrifice, every, tear, every smile, every gain, what it means. And you appreciate the supporters that you've garnered along the way in that journey.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. And, there's so many people who have walked that journey with me, from the Leimert Park all the way to the Wiltern, and that's amazing because they've seen the growth and they've seen, who I became. I think a lot of people saw the potential in me, before I even saw it. So to meet that and exceed that feels really nice,
I love that. Well, listen, when we come forward, we're going to have more from Cy Smith, more with Trent Jackson, and we're going to get into Dougie Fresh. He wants a ceasefire on the beef and hip hop. Of course, we're going to have more trending topics, more headlines on the other side. You were locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.